Vatican unnerved fears more priests will be outed with Grindr data. This month, the Vatican has become increasingly apprehensive over easily accessible location-based signals from Grindr. For those who don't know, Grindr is a dating app that is almost exclusively used by men who like other men. The conservative Catholic newsletter publication, The Pillar, has once again released an analysis of mobile data signals. This time, in their third publication covering this evolving story, The Pillar claims that their new data contains evidence of individuals transmitting mobile signals within the Vatican itself. This data includes logs of mobile signals from 2018 up to 2020. The Pillar reported that more than 30 mobile devices have been documented transmitting location-based signals for dating apps from inside the Vatican. These mobile devices regularly transmitted signals, quote, from secured areas inaccessible to tourists and pilgrims. So it's not like, it was just someone random who's in like a museum part of it or something. It's like, no, like the public can't get here. Joseph Tobin, a cardinal from Newark, cries foul and calls the data collection and analysis by the Pillar, quote, very questionable. The Pillar has repeatedly announced that their method of data collection can be reproduced by anyone, claiming that the mobile data collected from Grindr is publicly accessible through commercial options. So.
Wait, so this is like within, like, you can see that within Vatican people are using this. This is like, how are they collecting this? Is it because Vatican has its own country? That's why they could see that it's being used in that zone.
So
like, is that how they figure? Yeah.
Well, the whole method of the Pillar's way that they attained this data and their sources is still very opaque. It's very muddy, but theoretically, the data that's emitted from your phone is collected by the app, and then that app company can sell it to another person. So somehow the Pillar claims they've attained data like this that is commercially available from a variety of apps, although Grindr is the only app that they have named. And especially apparently the information on Grindr is extremely specific, so they can tell like on the property where the signals are coming from. So there were more than 30 mobile devices were documented inside the Vatican itself. 16 of those were specifically using Grindr.
I'm actually more concerned about
apps were for heterosexuals, and but they are hookup apps nonetheless.
I am more concerned right now for other people who are using like, what if they get in trouble if people find out that they're on Grindr? Like, why is this? Oh my God. Like, shouldn't this be more private? Like, like Grindr, like, isn't this like a major bad ad for Grindr? Like, maybe
yes, Grindr has made a statement saying that they're trying to ascertain how they've procured this data.
Well, I mean, you sold it, you made it commercially available. Like, that's what you did. Like, they bought it. Like, I don't understand.
Well,
like, do they not know? Do they not know what data they're selling to third parties?
Based on other reporting I've read about this subject, like, it doesn't seem like this is the kind of thing that can be procured just by individuals. Like, it has to be procured by like specific entities. And so it was probably like, conspiracy makes it sound like malicious, but there was a larger operation going on to attain this data and then use very specific means of analyzing it to like hone in on it to this level. Like a few weeks ago, we talked about how there was a Monsignor who was outed and then since kicked out of the, I don't know if I think he resigned from the U.S. Conference of Bishops. And because he was exposed using Grindr by the Pillar. The Pillar exposed him as an individual for using this but they haven't named anyone else as an individual. he's the only one so far.
Yeah. By the way, let's just be clear. When we are saying expose or anything like that, it's based on their standard. Because based on our standard, there's nothing wrong with any of this. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think it's kind of wrong to be is very senior in an organization that is so bigoted towards the LGBT community, has historically like inhibited progress every step of the way. And
well, that part of it is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that part of it is wrong. The part, like, I don't think you're all of a sudden, I don't think, like, here's what I don't want to do, okay? If you are a gay priest and you are trying to, oppress LGBT people, right? I don't think the fact that you're gay makes your discrimination against LGBT people worse. You are as bad as the straight priest who's doing that. Like, it's objectively, like, they are both wrong regardless of whether you're gay or straight. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, the straight priests who are like discriminating gay people, they're bad. But you who are a gay priest, you're especially, like, I think like that's form of discrimination as well. To be like the gay priest who's doing this is worse than the straight priests who are doing this. I mean, we might say like, well, that is hypocritical because they're doing it themselves, but they're like discriminating other people who are doing it. However, their ideology says like considers everyone's a sinner anyways. You know what I mean? Like, they don't think like they like, oh my God, look, this priest is doing sins, but he himself is like taking part in an institution that is discriminating gay people. But they're like, yeah, I sin. Everyone sins. Like, some people like steal a candy, some people commit genocide, and some people do what I'm doing, right? Like they
break their vow of celibacy.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it's all just a sin. Like we're all gonna be forgiven through Jesus Christ, and blah blah blah.
Well,
but yeah, go on.
It's interesting. The Pillar is kind of undergoing these series of publications because they say that they feel compelled to expose this quote unquote like sexual immorality, because they think that if this is being engaged in at such high levels, then it begs the question to them that what other forms of sexual immorality are they going to maybe turn a blind eye to? And even in some of their publications, they tried to basically conflate issues and say that because there is, reports of minors sometimes using Grindr, that they're basically trying to blame gay men for the Catholic Church's problem of abuse of minors, which is like they're trying to like push all of that quote unquote perversion onto them, which is completely unfair and also like empirically untrue. Like, I can promise you that probably on any given dating app, like there are some minors there, but that doesn't mean that everyone who uses that app is a predator, right? Like, it's just a matter of numbers. Also, don't do that if you're a minor. Yeah, so it's really interesting. I've been reading some of the Pillar's reporting, and other people reporting on this, including ourselves, focus more on this Grindr gay priest angle of the story. But the Pillar, when they released this publication, what they focused on was actually China taking this data to blackmail the Vatican.
What?
This was an angle of the story I had never heard of before until I went back to the primary sources. I was like, what? So wait, let me find it.
What is going on?
The use of any hookup app within the Vatican City's state-secured area could pose a security risk for the Holy See. And the use of Grindr app among Vatican residents and officials and within the non-public areas of the Vatican City state could present a particular diplomatic security risk for the Holy See in its dealings with China. The company was launched in California, but acquired by the Chinese gaming firm Beijing Kunlun Tech in 2016 for $93 million. While it was under Chinese ownership, the U.S. Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States deemed the app's ownership a national security risk over concerns that the data from the app's some 27 million users could be accessed by the Chinese government and used for blackmail. The app was sold in 2020 to a company based in the US for a reported 608 million at the demand of the US government. While it was still under Chinese ownership, Grindr allowed third-party engineers access to the personal data of millions of US-based users, including their personal details and HIV status, according to media reports last year. Because the Chinese law requires tech companies to provide access to national intelligence gathering agencies, app data could be available to the Chinese government. Under intelligence and cybersecurity laws, Kunlun Tech could have been compelled to turn over the data from the company's servers to the Chinese government for any reason pertaining to quote-unquote national security, experts have warned. That data could include user details, private messages exchanged between users, and evidence of sexual liaisons arranged between users. Grindr says that the company has, quote, never disclosed any user data regardless of citizenship to the Chinese government, nor do we intend to. But one former Grindr employee told the Los Angeles Magazine in 2019 that, quote, there's no world in which the People's Republic of China is like, oh yes, a Chinese billionaire is going to make all this money in the American market with all this valuable data and not give it to us, end quote. I was like, I didn't know anything about this. Amazing. So that's what's kind of interesting is a lot of people are more focused on the gay aspect to it, but the pillar itself, at least in this report, was more focused on the security report. And it's also been interesting to see the fallout from the Vatican itself following this reporting. Like now they're actually in communication with the people at this publication, The Pillar, trying to determine like what the heck is going on. Like they're freaked out.
Zakura is saying this is why priests and nuns need to get married. Okay, but be careful with that language because it kind of suggests like, I mean, that there's something wrong with using Grindr and getting married is a solution. Like no, if you're gay, just do your thing. Like you don't need to fix that. I know this is kind of a joke, but I just want to highlight that this is not like that is not the problem that needs to be solved. Like if you want to use like probably maybe not Grindr, maybe a safer app, but if you need to use an app to find a partner, go ahead with doing that. Like the problem with these priests is not that they're using Grindr. The problem is that they are doing that while discriminating against other gay people. That's the issue here. Okay, so let's focus on Bobo is saying funny how the church cares more about consensual gay hookups than actual sexual assault against minors. Christian morality, well, I mean, to be fair, they think that it's all wrong, but the problem with the Christianity is that it considers all sins to be, I don't know, somewhat equal and forgivable through Jesus and blah blah blah. That's the issue here, right? I think the Vatican should make its own Grindr, right, for internal consumption, and just make sure that like you have like outstand. Here's what I think they should do. They should make an app where they could do all their sinning and all the things that they think that is not right, but they have like an outstanding sin count, right? That you haven't been forgiven for. Like, okay, fine. If you want to sin, but do it internally within Vatican's own app. Also, we have a place where you could see like how many sins you haven't confessed to, and then maybe you could just ask for do confessions on the app itself, and then just like reset it to 0 every time it gets to a certain above a certain number. Okay.
Trells is saying that Grindr for priests should be Prinder.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a great idea because that way they don't have to. No police or no government has access to it as well. It's all internal. Mobile confession. Yeah, exactly. Is that still a thing?
At that point, they're just like freely admitting the fact that they're giving up their vows of celibacy, which is like such a fundamental tenet to the clergy. Like I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah, but then you go and confess it and it's all fine. I mean, it's not like, I mean, they do it with, they don't seem to have an issue with when priests do worse things, and which I'm not going to mention here because we already mentioned it once, and I don't want to get to strike by YouTube, right? Like, do they actually have an issue, more of an issue when priests do this with adults than non-adults? Like, they seem to go out of
Honestly,
their way. I think they, I think maybe they do.
I think maybe they
Like,
do.
like maybe if the person that they are with is on an adult, they're like, okay, we can't forgive that. But if it's a crime, okay, we're gonna make sure you stay a priest, and we spend money on protecting you legally, and that none of this gets leaked, and we'll move you around. We'll go out of our way to protect you. But if it's legal, now we have an issue with this. Now you're gonna lose your position. I don't know. It's, I mean,
Actually, I
this,
mean,
that's
that's actually a pretty good point. Like, there's been several bishops who have said, for example, that like abortion is worse than that thing we can't talk about too much,
yeah.
like openly. So honestly, I think you're onto something.
Wait, Bulbul is saying something. Maybe you could read this while I get the next news.
I think Bulbul was having a contention about maybe the way you phrased something, because she's just doubling down on emphasizing the links that the Catholic Church will go to cover up bad things that happen to children.
Oh, okay, yeah. And now she's saying that is that is exactly what I was saying. All right, okay. I get it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, moral of the story is that this situation, it is not going away anytime soon. Like, the Pillar seems like they're going to continue to release information and these data that they found. It'll be interesting to see if they name any more individuals. Also in this report, they named the fact that they can find mobile data from different rectories in Newark, New Jersey. And there were other news agencies that were speculating that this, besides the Vatican, only this diocese was named. And they think it's because of, I forget his position, I think it's Bishop Tobin is particularly close to the Pope. And right now there are like a ton of really traditional Catholics who are super unhappy with this Pope right now. And the Pillar is a very conservative publication. So it's like they're trying to get at
Catholics
the Pope.
are unhappy with, you just said Catholics are unhappy with the Pope.
Oh yeah. It's a huge thing right now.
How does that, I know it's a huge thing, but it doesn't make any sense. So are they, here's how I know, here's what I say, okay? Are they protesting the Pope?
Oh,
are they protesting against the Pope? Does that make them Protestant? I mean, do they, like, are you even Catholic though? Like, I don't understand. Like, you don't get to be upset with the Pope. You're you don't get to do that. You're not Catholic if you do that. Oh wait, wait, we have some other comments, guys. Oh, here, Idris is saying something.
Idris is saying, but Armin, isn't it because they know what is truly harmful? However, they crack down on consensual gay sex because it's less damaging to their image? I don't really understand this.
It's yeah, I don't understand it either. Maybe it highlights. I don't know. Maybe.
People are saying accidentally becoming Protestant is tight. Hey guys, if you're a fan of Blasphemy and Sexy Callie, like me, then you need to be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below. Because if you subscribe, we will send you a free copy of our Blasphemous Art ebook. And let me tell you, it is the tastiest blasphemy that you can find anywhere available today. And we are so generous with our blasphemy that we continue to send you more blasphemy every week. So make sure to subscribe, link in the description below.